Hello and welcome to day 4 of the featured stamper with Erin Lopez and the Hats Off bundle. I hope you're all having a great week and you've seen some great projects so far. So far I've seen some great comments and you guys have loved the projects. I really appreciate that. It's really inspiring and you guys are good for good for my ego. I really appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. This is a pre-recorded video because we have some things with our family going on this evening. So I wanted to have this ready to go so you could watch it when you have time. So I'm going to go ahead and I have just something over here so I can watch and make sure that I'm in camera frame and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and point my camera down and we'll get started. Hold on, please. Behind the scenes view, behind the camera. It's messy, right? It's kind of like when company comes over and you stash everything away. No one does that, right? Okay, so tonight we are going to, oh, you saw my project. We are going to be working with, again, the Hats Off bundle, and this time I've pulled in the layering diorama dies and the Handsomely Suited. Now, I'm going to give a little confession. This set saw as much use as this set before I started using it this week. So this one was never used and this one was never used until today. So get your stamps out, get them inked, start using them, okay? All right, let's get going. What I started is that the other day I showed you a project that uses supplies so that you can earn celebration rewards for you or your customer. So this one here also shows how you can use the celebration you Simply Marvelous or something. It's a mouthful, I tell you. Marvelous. Yeah, Simply Marvelous, and it has all these wonderful colors. I think there's 6 different colors, and I only made the gray because I liked the lightning bolt, but it'd be really pretty to make something in the bumblebee with the stars or something with the grape. And again, we have some other stamp sets that would complement this really well, but I just made the gray one for today to show you. And let's go ahead and get started. I've pre-cut everything as I've done all week just to keep things moving. And this is using a gatefold, a simple gatefold. But it helps you so you don't have to use so much of the designer paper, and you can cut it and get kind of maximize the amount that you get, because they're 6 by 6. I mean, 6 by 6 are great, but I like the 12 by 12 because you can get 3 4-inch pieces. But we'll take what we can get. Okay, so this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of basic black that I have scored, and I'll give you those measurements on Friday, probably Saturday. Friday, I'll try and do Friday because this weekend's going to be kind of busy. Okay, so there's that. I got to get my seal. And then I cut the 2 pieces. Now, this is how particular I am. I want to make sure, see how the marble goes. Make sure that I cut mine to make sure that the pattern goes all the same direction. So when you're putting it on your front of your card, make sure that you get it so that way the patterns match up. You don't have to, especially when you're using 2 different pieces to try and use up your... The other side wasn't quite so marbly. It was a little bit more subdued, but I liked the real dynamic piece of this side. Now, I have a little giggle to give you. So I was trying to figure out, square didn't look right, circle didn't look right. What can I put back there that was kind of artistic? And I'm a very straight, clean lines kind of a stamper and personality. So I had to get a little bit creative, and I thought, oh, I got those layering diorama dies to break out of my shell and do something fun. And I used the 3rd largest one here. This next one down here was just a little bit too small. And there wasn't one in between to kind of layer it, but you guys, here's my giggle. My husband's like, you need to add a color to it. It's a lot of gray. So I'm like, oh, cherry cobbler and black are really pretty together. Okay. It looked like someone bled on my paper, so I couldn't do that. Sorry if it's going to ruin it for you guys, but I couldn't do that big red blob. I didn't want to look like a murder scene. Okay, anyways, moving on. I'm going to build up my layering diorama first, but what I also want to show you is, I'm going to put this under here so you can see because of the black background and the black cardstock. I'm going to show you how I did my hat. So we're going to do some paper piecing. And that's another fun thing you can do with this stamp set. So I cut the black, can you see that? I cut the black hat, or the hat out of black, so you can see all that stitching. I didn't stamp on it first. I just cut it out because all you're going to see is the bill of the hat. And then I want to show you kind of how I cut it out. So this is after I cut my 2 strips for the front of my card. This was the piece that was left over, so I only cut part of the hat. I didn't have to layer the whole piece because you're going to be just using the cap part and not the brim. Get my words tongue-tied. Okay, so here's this piece, and we don't need that die. Let's put it somewhere so it doesn't get lost. Now here, what you're going to want to do, because you're going, the black ink is going to be up against the black brim of the hat. You don't have to be super precise, but what I did was I just cut to just on that black line, kind of in between it a little bit, so you could didn't have to worry about having a halo of some sort. So just cut. If you can see, I'm trying to see if I can cut closer. Where's the camera? Okay, there it is. You think it's over here, but it's back that way a little bit. And then just kind of cut all the way around. And there it is. You just have the I don't know, the front piece of the cap. And there you go. All right, so now we're going to get our liquid glue out. And I'm going to just put some glue. I've been using this poor little tube all week for my samples and for my demonstrations, so it's probably getting a little used up. I need to get one of those little holders to hold it flat. I have a little jar, but it's just over on the other side of my room. Okay, and then, again, I don't want to lose my little pieces. Post-it tape. I should get some royalties from Post-it tape if you all go out and buy some. All right, glue dots. For some reason, I put them away. Don't know what I was thinking. Gotta have glue dots always handy and available. I'm gonna use glue dots on my, just a shadow. It looked like I had a cat hair. My glue dots there. On the lightning bolt. That's kind of a fun little, they're just simple. You can kind of see that it just, you know, sits right there inside that patch. And then I stuck it straight down on the hat. And this is great because this patch is perfect because that point lines up in the seam there and it covers so you don't have any gaps. Some of the ones that we did earlier this week, you could see based on the different shape of the patch, you can still see the space there, and you didn't see it there. Okay, so now we have this piece here. And then I'm going to do my words. I pre-cut this label. It's from the painted labels. Yeah, I use them all the time. Yeah, Tasteful Labels. Tasteful Labels. Sorry, I had a momentary lapse of memory. Okay, and then our Memento ink and our words from the Handsomely Suited. I like these words, but it doesn't have enough variety for me, and these are great for your Father's Day, your masculine cards, or if you want more of a blocky letter. You know, it's kind of fun to use your words from other stamp sets. Can you see okay? It looks kind of far away. And, oh, well, let's just hope we can get that straight. I cut an extra one just in case it's not Oh, that's pretty good. All right, let's put that away. And then what I did here for so you see how this has a kind of a funky little, looks like a nose. They put a little person's face here and the nose and their chin. I'm gonna make you guys see all kinds of shapes in here and you won't ever see it the same again. So I took this and just hid that little bump. I didn't feel like you needed to see that piece. And then what I did was I wanted my brim to stick out, but I didn't want the whole hat. So I'm just gonna put my trusty dimensionals down here. Just 1 and 1. Oh wait, you know what I did? Okay, now I remember what I did. Sorry, I'm flinging stuff all over the place here. I got excited for a minute because I did something just a little different. This time what I did was I put a glue dot here. Now I didn't have to worry about it squishing out at me. I love glue dots. Okay, and then I put some, I used all kinds of, look, we have 3 different kinds of adhesives. 4 if you count what we used on that. It's pretty much just whatever I have in my hand and what I can grab. Now, I'm not quite ready to set this down yet, so I'm going to use my silicone mat so that way that is going to stick to here and not to any designer paper or my paper or anything. So I'm just going to stick that. I kind of liked how it went over the corner of the what you call it there. So it just kind of gave a little bit of a bend to it. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to move that. And before I forget, we're going to go ahead and add the inside, because we can't, unless you have a white gel pen, which, you know, that would work too, but sometimes that's really hard to read or it fades. So let's put our white paper in here. And here's again another little strip of the marbled paper that I used to when I trimmed everything down. So it kind of just brought that, ooh, look, it doesn't fold up all the way, but it won't matter because you're going to put that on there. And then just put a little bit of adhesive of your choice on one side here. It's easier to put it on this than on this because you don't want to accidentally go too far over. And then just kind of swirl it around like that. Press it down, and then there's your glue dot, so it'll hold that still. And there's your card. So it's another fun and simple way. Again, maybe you didn't want to do all the die cutting. This set leads to a lot of intricate die cutting. It's hard to do simple. Again, you could probably stamp directly on another. You could probably make another, you can make it another square here or rectangle and then just stamp your hat on some cardstock and layer it. You don't have to die cut it out, but it gives you, gives you an opportunity. And then to finish off the card, we're going to use the classic matte dots that are out of the new mini catalog. These are, oops, one last one's inside there. Don't want to lose that. Oh, don't know where that one came from. Maybe it's an extra. It's a freebie. Okay, so what we're always taught is do odd numbers. And then I'm always like, odd numbers, great, I can do that, but then where do I put them? How do I spread them out so they don't look like a jumbled mess? And I just did 2 of the big ones and the rest of the little ones. You can put them wherever. You can use the gray ones, would be pretty too, but I like the black because I kind of thought it tied that kind of all together. All right, so there's card number 1. We have a nice gray, subtle, soft card for a happy birthday. You can use any words that you have to add to that. Now this one here, I really like this one. This, I had to go back to my baseball roots of my family. And this one also uses the paper called Hey Sports Fan, I think is what it's called. I keep forgetting the name of it. I have it right here, but it's eluding me. Yeah, Hey Sports Fan is the stamps. There's the DSP. that is in the catalog. Excuse me, the holiday or my goodness, it's the end of the day. That's in our new January to June catalog. So here is another fun fold. So 2 fun folds that use both different types of designer paper. All right, so again, I cut everything. We're going to do some more paper piecing, but this time we're going to paper piece the bill of the hat onto it. So we have a few pieces here. It uses 2 pieces of the white, and this is where I realized, oh, I really should have used, especially for the base of the card, the thick vanilla. If I were to make this card again, I would probably use thick vanilla versus regular vanilla because I wanted to make sure that it would stand up and have some stability to it. So here's this paper is so amazing. It's so fun with all the baseball. If you're a baseball fan, which our family is. So first let's do the base of the card because that's going to be the quickest. So these 2 pieces here, we're going to set the other part. So first we're going to do, this is just the stripes. Everything on this card is from the Hey Sports Fan designer series paper. So we're going to add the stripes to the back panel. So it's just a card that we cut off a chunk, 2 1/3 or something like that. Again, I'll get you directions. And then we're going to put the stars. This paper is also very busy, so you want to try not to have too many busy patterns. You want patterns that are going to kind of complement each other. Okay, now see how I stuck that? Instead of prying up, hold it down and just twist, and then that won't bend the card, bend the fibers. And I kind of cut that one a little bit wide, but that's okay. I kind of like the way that looks. But yeah, if you stick your card or your paper down and need to lift it up, twist it. Don't yank up because that's going to bend your fibers of your card. Just a little tip I came across. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, and then we're going to let's build the hat. Okay, I'm missing a piece of vanilla really quick. Hold on. We're going to punch that piece out. Okay, so this is going to fold this direction. So let's this is Bumblebee. I want to keep calling this More Mustard, but it's Bumblebee. I don't even think we sell More Mustard anymore. That's how long I've been around. All right, this little striped pinstripe is really cute. It reminds me of the old-fashioned baseball pants. And it took me a while when I first saw this pattern paper. I was like, what in the world is that? Those are baseball diamonds, for those of you who may not know. Okay, then I'm going to stamp in Poppy Parade. First, actually, what I did, because it's really hard to line it up, this is where I had to think outside the box and how am I going to put a sentiment on here without crowding it or making it look out of place or too cluttered on the front, because I didn't want it on the inside because there's not a lot of room on the inside. So I don't have a lot of masculine dyes. I have a lot of scallops and froofy things, and so I had to come up with a different way of doing a label or a sentiment. So I have the tailored tags punch, and I'm going to bring it in and stop right here at these. I kind of thought it looked like a backwards home plate. I know it doesn't quite look like home plate. I have to turn it this way or it's not going to get straight. And we don't want to. So if you see, I just did that. And that's your punch. And now that it's punched, it's going to be easier to line up. Otherwise, if you punch it or if you stamp first, if you did it too high or crooked, anyway, this was what worked best for me. Usually I stamp first and then punch, but this time I did the opposite. Okay, I'm gonna I have to move it down here so I can see. And this way I can just line up the top of the stamp, the clear stamp. You can kind of see, that way I could get it a pretty good straight image. If you've been watching me all week, it's been a little crooked. So there's that. I'm going to set that aside to dry because sometimes that red ink can be a little stubborn. Now let's put together our hat. So this time I stamped and pre-cut out the Poppy Parade hat. I stamped it in Poppy Parade ink and put the Poppy Parade hat through the emboss and cut machine. Then I also stamped on vanilla the hat in Poppy Parade. And this time I'm going to cut, last time we cut just right in the middle because it was black on black. I want to cut just on the inside of that red line. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to cut from this direction. And if I can get it right here, I'm just going to cut just on the inside of that red line. And then the trick is hopefully we've die cut them pretty similar because you want to cut just on the inside. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time with that, with this piece right here. Can you see? If you didn't cut, if you cut on the other side, you're going to have a funky little line there. Okay, so then here we're going to have, and it's easier just to have it, to layer it on an already base, like the hat here. Can you see that okay? Don't want to get, you're just going to line up the bill of the hat. If you're using glue and you don't want it to smush out, your silicone mat is really nice because then you can go through and it just, you know, rubs right off. It's a great way of, so you don't get glue on your surface, and it's an easy way to clean that up. Okay, so there's our hat. And then we're going to take, I've pre-cut, here it is. I pre-cut 2 of these labels, or the patches, and then this star. And then we're going to, on this one here, we're going to cut just on the inside of the stitching. This is where it can kind of, so we're going to cut just on the inside of that stitching because we want the stitching to be on the white part of the patch on this one, or was what I wanted to do. And so we're just going to cut out. The great thing about these is they're nice straight cuts, and with your paper snips, it works great. Oh, sorry, I might be out of frame here. Okay, so put just a little bit of glue. You don't need very much. You can see we just, so that little patch, you can see the stitching around the edge there. Can you see that? And then we're going to move those, grab a little dimensional to the back. Oh, my fingernails are all short and I can't take those off. Add that to there. Oh. So again, twist, don't pull. I had that little off center. And then we're going to add a little bit of glue. And then add this patch right to the front of our hat. Let that go for a minute. And then we're going to add our words right here to the front of our card. And I just lined it up to the corner like that. I tend to like to put bows and ribbons on things. It was really hard not to put twine, but I didn't want to add anything else to this because I thought it was busy enough. So you kind of, sometimes you have to, in order to make things simpler, you look at it. It's kind of like accessories. You know, you look at it, you think, do I have too much? Then you take one accessory off. You know, like maybe I have one too many bracelets, or maybe the necklace is too much for my outfit. So then kind of translate that to your card. Oh, I have too many, I had the bows. Okay, take the bow off. Oh, maybe I don't want dimensionals. You know, so you kind of, that's one good way of looking at trying to, how do I simplify my card? Maybe I have one too many embossing folders, or maybe I have one, you know, too many patterns of paper. So just a little tip and trick there for you. Okay, now I'm going to add this actually next to the card. And this is cut so that way all you have to do is butt it up into the center of the card like this. You don't have to worry about leaving a space. So you're just going to tuck that in. I kind of did it a little bit more towards the top and the bottom. Make sure your flap can close. And then fold that down so you can see with your edges, you still have the edges. And they look really nice. Now we're going to add some dimensionals. I think I only did one level and all around. Yep. Because you already have quite a a three-dimensional card. You don't want to make it too big that it won't go into your envelope. You could use the larger ones and just cut down. I just like to use those little small. Use them up. You've got them, use them. That's my motto for this year. I need to quit saving things. I need to actually use stuff up. And that's in all aspects of my life. Okay. And so there, then we just have to add our little hat to the front of our card. And voila, it's done. So you have another cute little something for, you know, maybe a coach, a kid going off to college, graduation, all kinds of opportunities there for adventures. Hopefully they can have some adventures this year. We're not going to go there, but you know, hopefully some adventures can happen. So, all right. So here is day number 4 with our Hats Off bundle die set and some designer paper and some new things, fun things from our spring catalog, or the January to June catalog. And tomorrow Friday, I will be live at I'll be live at 6:30 p.m. after work, and I'm gonna have some fun things. We're gonna focus on some treats, give you a little bit of a sneak on what we're gonna focus on, something besides cards. So I hope you are enjoying the week where we got planned here for you, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.